learners, you are welcome once again to Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. And here today, I'm with you, Kamaldeen Abiono, and we want to look at another concept in mathematics, and that is concept of logical reasoning.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
We shall be learning using a set of rules to determine the validity of an argument, and at the same time we'll look at the conclusion of those arguments. All right. So, simple true and false statements. So what do we mean by a true statement or a false statement? So a statement is a declarative statement that can be either be true or false. You can evaluate a statement to be true or false. An example of such is the earth is round. Any statement you come across is either it is true or false. It can be the two. So the earth is round. Is that true or false statement? So that's a true statement. Then we have another one, the earth is flat. According to our knowledge of geography, that is wrong. So the statement is false. So we have truth value. Every statement has a truth value. It is either true or false. And when we have true, we use T for it. When we have false, we use F for it. So we have example. Consider the following statement. 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2? Is it 4? Yes, it is 4. So we put true there, T. The sky is green. Is that true? No. That's false. So that is false there, F. So non-statements. So statements are not, some sentences are not statements. Like they may be questions or command question or expression of opinions. So if you have such, they are not declarative statements. Okay? So we also have negative and contrapositive of simple statements. Every statement you make, we can make the negation of such a statement. So, and the negative of a statement is formed by adding not to the original statement. And the contrapositive of a statement is formed by negating both the hypothesis and conclusion. We are going to look at that, and you switch the position. For example, in this particular statement, all dogs are mammals. All dogs are mammals. So if you need to find the negative of that statement, we just need to put not all dogs are mammals. Not all dogs are mammals. So another way you can put it, all dogs are not mammals. You can also put it like that. All dogs are not mammals. Now, contrapositive. You need to understand this concept. And I think I need to use my pen at this time. Let me indicate something for that. So, contrapositive. If you say all dogs are mammals, it means mammal is the general one. Then dogs they are inserted in the general. So I can use the knowledge of Venn diagram. Yes. So in that case, I need to indicate that I will say mammals. This is representing mammals. And all dogs you see must belong to mammals. So all dogs. So this is dogs. Is that clear? So that is the original statement. So we now want to do a contrapositive of such statement. So it means if anything you see as mammal, some of them can be dogs, but it's not all of them that can be dogs. Look at it. This is the circle, the region of mammals. Mammals. So I can have a mammal that is here. That is not a dog. Yes, it's possible. You can have a mammal that is here. So in such a case, that one is not a dog. So it is possible. Now, how do we now make a contrapositive of this statement? The contrapositive of this statement. So it means that if something is not mama, for example, if you see something outside here, can this be a dog? No. 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 It can't be a dog. So it means anything that is not a mama is not a what? A dog. So if something is not a mama, so it means it's not a dog. So that is the contrapositive statement for the original statement. I hope you understand that. So just draw something of this nature. All dogs are mamas. So mama is the general name. Okay, let's move. We have some conjunctions or operations that we use in logical expression, logical statement. So logical operations combine simple statement to form compound statement. So if you need to form compound statement in this case, we have conjunction and, which is this. You can see a cap. So we also have disjunction, or, which is this, and we have negation, this not. In some textbooks, you can come across this as this. They also use this sign as for negation. So how? The description of such, what's the rule that we have to follow? Say true if both statements are true. If I have two statements, both statements, the evaluation of both statements, the compound statement will be true if both statements are correct. Is that clear? That will be true if both statements are correct. So you can just use two statements. Then we need to what? We want to combine them together. Then if it is disjunction, we are using or. In such a case, say true statement. Okay, this is here. True if the statement is true, otherwise false. That's for the first one. For the second one here, it is true if at least one of the statements is true, otherwise it is what? False. So that is the rule for that. Then for negation, reverses the truth value of the statement. For example, let me use and not. If I need that, let's look at two different statements. This is what we call the truth table. So if I have these two statements, I can evaluate the statement to be true, the two statements to be true, true. Then in some cases, if I've made two statements, the two statements, one of them may be true and the other one is false. The first one may be false and the second one is true. And both statements can also be what? Can be false. You can just imagine two different statements. It is raining, for example. P can be it is raining. You get it? P can be it is raining. Then we can think of another statement too. Statement Q. Statement Q. And statement Q can be another statement. It can be different. He passed his exam. He passed his exam. You get? So we are making the two. We are now combining the two statements. It is raining. He passed the exam. So it may be that truly it is raining. And it may be that truly he passed his exam. So the two are true. It can be it is raining, but he did not pass his exam. So true, false. It can be that it is not raining. I looked outside, it is not raining. Then maybe Ade, we are talking about Ade passed his exam. So it is true. Or it is not raining, and possibly the person we are talking about is Ade did not pass his exam. So false. So those are the options that we have. Now, let's see how we want to apply these conjunctions. This conjunction. P conjunction Q. Okay, P conjunction Q, which is saying that it is true if both statements are true. Both statements are true, yeah, it is true. Otherwise, it is false. Both statements are not true, it is false. Both statements are not true, it is false. So that is that. Okay, or that is disjunction. Okay, how do we apply that? P or Q. P or Q. We are still referring to this. In this case, the rule is true if at least one of the statements, the two statement or the three statement is true. Otherwise, it is false. So TT, one of them, at least one of them is true. At least one is true. At least one is true. Both of them are false. So this is false. That's the rule. Then the last one, which is negation, is I may pick to look at negation of Q, negation of P, whichever one. So it depends on which of the sign you are using. Any of the sign is allowed. So not P, not T, it is false. Not T, false. Not false, it means it is true. Not false, it is true. So that is how we can apply these particular rules that we have mentioned here. Okay, and we'll go to another aspect, which is we want to look at. We want to look at another, which is conditional statement. So construct a truth table for the following statement. If it is raining, then the ground is wet. This is a conditional statement. In a conditional statement, you can see we have used the word if. If then, if. Statement, then another statement. So we have what we call the antecedent. And that's the statement that follow the clause or the word if. If, P, Q. So the P here is the antecedent. Antecedent is the part of the conditional statement that comes before the then. It comes before then. Then we have what? The consequent. The consequent is the part of the statement, of the conditional statement that comes after then. If then, this Q. So the rule is that for a truth table, so we want to look at a truth table is a visual representation of the truth values of logical statements. So what are the things, the rule that we have to follow in this particular one? So that is what we want to look at. Okay, antecedent and consequence. The antecedent is the condition or assumption that precedes the consequence. The consequence is the result or the outcome that follows the antecedent. The antecedent and the consequence are joined by a conditional statement which expresses the relationship between them. Look at it. An example is it is raining, which is the antecedent. And the consequence was what? The ground is wet. We want to create a conditional statement for that. It is if it is raining, then the ground is wet. If it is raining, so the antecedent is if it is raining, then the ground is wet. So we have picked this P. If P, then Q, and our P is okay. So P is it is raining, that's P, and the ground is wet, that is Q. So here both are true. When it is raining, the ground will surely be wet. So if both are true, it gives us what? A true statement. The compound statement is true. Now let's go to the second one. If it is not raining, then the ground is wet. Is it possible that if it is not raining, can the ground still be wet? Yes, there could be something that will cause it. Maybe water is poured, so it is possible. So in this case, false antecedent, F, this is F, but this is true. So the overall statement is still what? True. Can still be evaluated to be true. Yes. Now look at the next one. The true antecedent. Antecedent is true. It is raining. But then the ground is dry. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. It's not possible. When it is raining, the ground cannot be dry. It must be wet. So in this case now, the antecedent is true, but the consequence is false. And it produces what? A false statement. All right? And then false antecedent with false consequence. If it is not raining, then the ground is dry. I think that makes sense. If it is not raining, the ground is dry. Yes, both are false, and they still produce a true statement. So with this, we can summarize the condition for a conditional statement, the evaluation of it. If it is P, Q. If you have true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. It means when it is true, P, conditional Q. It means when the antecedent is true and the consequent is true, they are both, the statement is true. But when the antecedent is true and the consequence is false, it means it is false. So that's the only time it will be false. Others, it will be true. True, true. So that is how we can evaluate such statement. So the only time it can be false is when the antecedent is true, but the consequence is what? Is false. So that is on that. So we can have several examples. And based on what we have learned, this is P, this is Q. For example, we may want to produce, the question could be produce P and Q. We may also produce not P and Q. We have produced P and Q before, but let's see not P and Q. Not P and Q. If you need to produce this, we also want to produce not P by condition or conditional, not P, conditional Q. All right, so let's quickly do this together. This can be true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. So, okay, if you need to do this, not P and Q. So the only time, so it means we cannot do this first. We have to go and find not P first. So find not P. Not P. It means negate this. False, 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 false. Sorry. This is false, false, and this is true, true. So this will be true, true. So we want to combine this and Q, this and this. So the only time, if it is and, the only time it is true is when both are true. When both are true, both are not true, this is false. Both are not true, this is false. Both are true, this is true. This is true, and both are not true. So this is false. So this is the only time. So for not P and Q. And lastly is for not P, conditional Q. So this is the antecedent. The only time it will be false is when the antecedent is true and the consequence is false. Antecedent. This is when it is true. True. When it is true and the consequence is false. The consequence is false here. True, false. So it means it will be false. Otherwise it is true. When they are both true, true. When they are both false, true. When the consequent antecedent is false, but the consequence is true, true. So that is that. So let's look at practice. Okay, before the practice question, this is just the takeaway. Declarative sentence can be true or false. Logical operations combine statement to form compound. We have truth table to determine whether we have a truth value of a compound statement. And we also have conditional statement. And that asserts that if one thing is true, then another thing must be true. But the conclusion here is that if the antecedent is true, then the consequence must be true. If it is not true, then If the consequence is false, then it means the whole statement is false, and that's why they have asserted it like this. So let's go to practice question. Draw a truth table for the statement P and not Q, conditional not P. So I give you just 60 seconds to look at that. You are welcome back. I want to believe you got that right. Okay, so let's look at it together. We have P, Q. If this is true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Okay, so we need not P, we also need not Q. Not P. Not P will be not P. That is negate this. That is false, false, true, and true. And what is not Q? Not Q. It means you negate this. That is false, true. That is true, or this is false, and this is true. Okay, so the first one here is the one in the parentheses. That is P and not Q. P and not Q. P and not Q. So we are combining one and this. We are combining, if you say this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, and this is column 4. So we are combining column 1 and column 4. So what will be the result? Don't forget, for and, the only time it is true, it is when both are true. So let's look at that. When both are true, both are not true here. This is false. Both are true, that's good. That is true. Both are false, that is false. And both are not true, that is false. Okay. So, okay, in this case, so let's see what will be the final result. The final result, it means we are combining this with not P. Where is not P? So this is now column 5. Column 5, so it means we have column 5, condition. Column, that's not P, column 3. It means we only target where 5. Column 5 is true, but column 3 is not true. So can we target that? When column 5 is true, this is the only time column 5 is true. What is the result of column 3? If it is false, it means it is false. Okay, TF, it is false. So it means at this time, this is false. Otherwise, it is true. Otherwise, it is true. This is T, T, T. So that is the solution. P not Q, and okay, implies not P. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got that. Yes, that's good. That's a great one.
Eko Learners Support, a support program of the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education for WAEC and NECO candidates.
In case there are questions or comments, you can make use of the link on the screen. Thank you very much.
Acing your WAEC and NECO examinations has been made easy by the Lagos State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education with the Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates television program. Join seasoned teachers as they take you through these core subjects: mathematics, English language, physics, chemistry, and biology, targeting the exact syllabus of WAEC and NECO. Watch Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates on this station. Learners can also connect with Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates through these social media platforms to access more educational content and give their feedback. Eko Learners Support for WAEC and NECO candidates. Pass your examinations with flying colors.